Then I saw Dennis Wise playing for Southampton last night. Just make sure you don't carry on in the same vein.
One of Dennis Wise's signings, of course, Jody Morris, as Leeds United kick off their new season. They feel that they've been down as low as they are going to go. Certainly, they don't want to repeat the finish of last season, where they finished in 14th place in this division. Now they believe that they are able to look up. Indeed, the bonus structure here at Leeds United this season will only award them for a top 6 finish. They feel the promotion, the playoffs at the very least, is a reality. Well, they need to prove it. The expectations are here at Ellen Road on day one.
Well, that should be across the board anyway. With any team that's thinking about getting promotion, you shouldn't award them for mid-table.
Here's Gary Kelly, one of the few survivors from the days when the dream was being lived. Kelly again. Jermaine Wright, who started off his career, of course, as a trainee at Millwall. And Matt Lawrence wearing the captain's armband for Millwall. His experience will be vital. Or the captain's armband as well for their finest hour of recent years, Millwall. That trip to the FA Cup final when they lost ultimately to Manchester United. What a fine journey it was on the way, and of course took them into European competition last season. But the Millwall defence has some early pressure to ride. A quickly taken free kick for Kelly. Now this is Bakker.
He's top class, Eric Bakker. Always like the way Eric plays. With loads of problems through injuries, but he's through that now and wants to repay Leeds for their faith and helping him back to fitness. And of course, he's been on a decent contract as well throughout that time, so he does owe them a little bit.
Just one appearance last season, Eric Bakker. That was as a substitute. Here's Neil Sullivan, who hasn't started a game in all pre-season, had an operation on his shoulder, and Ian Bennett was thought by many that he would start today, but Sullivan keeps the #1 jersey, as he did throughout last season as well.
We've only got a couple of minutes and we've seen the pattern of the game already. Millwall are going to sit back and try and contain. Say to Leeds United, it's up to you to try and break us down. And occasionally we'll try and get the ball up to Hales and join in with him.
Well, no surprise really, 2 players in the Millwall side who haven't played since November, in Hutchinson and Vincent. That's due to injuries. 3 youngsters who've come through the ranks, 2 new signings who've only been at the club for a couple of days, and the manager, of course, only here for 10 days. You can understand why they might come here to a Leeds United side that's brimming with new season optimism and exercise a little bit of damage limitation. There's Morris. I think you'll need to be told when he's on the ball. The Ellen Road crowd may just do that for me. Now Butler.
They're starting off, Bill, just passing the ball around Leeds because I think they think that's the way through to begin with. It might change if they don't get too much success with it.
Here's Eddie Lewis, and here's a corner kick for Leeds. Heartbreak in the playoffs for Preston last season for the American.
It's a fabulous crossfield ball from Gary Kelly. Change the pattern of the play immediately. Look for those openings when it's going to be tight.
It will be Jermaine Wright to take this. Butler up from the back. Bakker moving inside the penalty area along with Derry. Plenty of options here for Leeds if the delivery is right. There's Giroud. And it's the Canadian who's able to carry clear, but not for too long. Just clipped as he made to make his way forward.
Well, this fella can throw the ball longer than some people can kick it, as we'll see throughout the game.
One of 2 Canadians in the starting lineup today, along with Josh Simpson, both spotted when Millwall went on a pre-season tour of Canada last summer. Backer rises highest. Lawrence now. Forward by Vincent.
That's what makes it hard when you're playing the one up front. He's got to be careful. He's got to be into his feet. Barry Hales, otherwise it's just a waste because there's nothing down the sides at the moment.
Lewis trying to make sure that Leeds have the width that they lacked largely last season. Steve Stone, of course, brought in for that purpose, but he'll sit out the opening months of the season after picking up an injury in training. Hales. Looks for the burst from midfield. Came in the form of Marvin Elliott. And now it's Leeds who look forward, but Healy is flagged offside.
Well, they'd almost give it up immediately. Derry was in good possession there. Just offside. Decided that they would rely on the assistant, and he helped them out.
And as Colin Lee was saying before the game, Don Hutchinson sitting in a much deeper role than we're used to seeing him, sort of playing the midfield anchor just in front of that Millwall back four. The younger legs of Elliott and Morris asked to do more of the running.
Playing the width of the centre circle, suit Don down to the ground. Until he gets his full fitness, he's been out for such a long time.
Like this man, Backer. Cregan spreads it well for Kelly. Needs to look for adventure down their right through Jermaine Wright. Good burst from midfield here. And then we'll get a little bit lucky.
Unless the goalkeeper shouted, because Phillips looked as if he left it, because Robbie Blake was always hoping that he was going to get round the back of Phillips, but goalkeeper positive.
Mark Phillips, one of the three who came through the ranks at Millwall. Vincent now. It's cut out well by Gary Kelly.
Just got to stand still at times, Barry Hales. And there's no wide man for Jamie Vincent to play it to, because it's nice and tight. Just stand still in the middle, in between the two centre-backs, Butler and Gregan, which gives him an outlet then. But he's wanting to come towards the ball. That's in his nature, Barry Hales.
Top scorer, of course, for Millwall last season, Barry Hales.
That's all he's got to do. Just stand up there in front of Butler and Gregan and hold it until they can get some support.
A bit of a getting-to-know-you exercise for Millwall and their players. They've lost so many. In fact, 7 of the players who played in their final game of last season, that goalless draw against Burnley, have now left the club. Vincent looks for Syria. Hooked away by Sean Gregan. Forward by Lawrence. There's a chase for Hales here, who may get a chance to get a shot away. Good defending by Gregan up against Morris. Watch that tussle. It may continue throughout the afternoon.
Well, he needed to do that anyway, Gregan, because it was his mistake in the first place. That's just laziness. Didn't want to run with Barry Hales. He's so lucky that Barry Hales decided not to strike the ball but come back inside, which gave him the chance to clear the danger.
Healy felt he was impeded by Matt Lawrence, but the referee felt otherwise. Going back to all the summer departures, you look at Graham Stack, Ward, Muscat, Sweeney, Dennis Wise, of course, Paul Eiffel, who played so well for Sheffield United yesterday. It's a side that's had its heart torn out. It needs to rediscover its pride.
Real good players as well. They don't move to Premiership clubs and Championship clubs who are all aspirations of getting promotion, and then expect the lads who are left behind to do the business. You need to bring in as much quality, and that costs you a lot of money, and we know they can't afford that, so it's going to be hard work for Colin Lee this season.
Gregan looking for Wright.
Just on that Colin Lee thing, I mean, Nothing amazes you in football anymore, but Steve Claridge not to be given a game at all to show what he's capable of. Whether one or two lads are moaning about the pre-season or whatever, you can have the best pre-season in the world, and once the season starts you don't win a game. Very hard on Steve.
Here's Gregan. Harding. It's a good ball looking for Blake. And they profit from Millwall's failure to clear. Harding again, the former Brighton man. This is Derry now, as Leeds look to step it up. Harding in space. He's allowed to carry forward.
Don't go through the middle. It's as simple as that. Just keep playing out wide, because as soon as they keep changing the play and looking for the width, that moves every one of the Millwall players, and I think they've seen already that that's the way through.
There's Josh Simpson showing he's not afraid to have a run. Eventually his progress is halted by Eric Backer, and now Eddie Lewis has a little bit of space.
It's too tight. Loads and loads of Millwall players through the middle. Just keep changing it, getting it wide.
Backer trying to thread it through the eye of the needle to lay it on a plate for David Healy. David Healy, who celebrated his 26th birthday yesterday. Well, that's what Barry Hales will give you all afternoon.
He can't
Chase
take
lost
chances.
causes.
Regan's trying to take chances with him, and one thing you know about Barry Hales is a rash, and he'll be all over you.
He has given Millwall their first real attacking opportunity of the afternoon. Useful delivery. There's good dominance inside the penalty area for Leeds. Healy tidies up from the front. Kelly now for Blake, who gets little time under attention from Lawrence. Little misunderstanding between the Millwall defence has allowed Lewis to come forward. Lewis!
Well, it's Alan Dunn's mistake. He's only young. He's got to head this when it bounces. Doesn't. Blake puts him under pressure, puts Eddie Lewis in, and he's got a better left foot than this, Eddie Lewis. Normally it's a target from that situation, but cuts across the ball once he's got that yard of space, but never going to trouble Andy Marshall. See, it comes off the inside of his boot.
The first American ever to play for Leeds United nearly got his first goal for his new club. Hutchinson looking for Hales. Sullivan's come a long way. There's no doubt that Hales would have seen him coming in that bright goalkeeping kit.
Well, he clobbered him, Neil Sullivan. I think Paul Butler was hoping that he would stay at home because he thought he was favourite, but the goalkeeper's made a big decision to come out, and then his momentum carries him right through Barry Hales. He's a tough lad, Barry Hales, but you've got to take a forearm smash as well.
Well, it's the last thing that Colin Lee will want, is to lose a player through injury so early on. The options are limited. Bob Peters, the big Belgian striker, is among the substitutes, but he's hardly played for over a year. Kevin Braniff as well could come in and do a job. It's hardly laden the Millwall bench, indeed the Millwall squad at the moment.
Well, Barry will be all right. He wouldn't have expected Neil Sullivan to pull out of that one, so Neil didn't expect him to pull out, so protected himself.
Ben May also is among the subs and is warming up. Another of the players through the ranks at the new Den. But last season's top scorer Barry Hales. To lose him in the first quarter of an hour of the opening game of the season, if that is going to be the case, would certainly not be an ideal scenario. Well, Hales is up, and I'm sure he will be back on before too long after a little bit of treatment.
Well, this is that throw that I was telling you about. Some players can't kick the ball as far as he can throw it.
It's enormous. It's dealt with. Simpson back to his compatriot. Hales back on the field.
I'll be happy to see Barry Hales back on the pitch, but Barry Hales had a little go at Adrian Saru there, just saying, I've come back on the pitch, I'm free, there's nobody with me.
The flag up against Blake. And it's one thing that Millwall will want to ensure that they don't do, and that's to give away a sloppy early goal to erode what confidence is there amongst the defence. A mixture of new boys, experience and youth, and Alan Dunn. Millwall headed away through Lawrence. Vincent's header. This is Backer for Leeds. Halted in his path by Elliott. Vincent has given it straight to Jermaine Wright. Backer perhaps not getting the time on the ball that he's used to, but he has drawn a foul. Now Gregan. Drilled looking for Wright. Well, they were close to going to the wall yet again back in January, but in came Ken Bates, the new chairman of Leeds United. He's of course ruffled a few feathers since taking over, but the club is now back on a sound financial footing, and the fans are being treated to his programme notes, which of course he was stopped from doing controversially at Chelsea. Interestingly, today he just says there were 5 main areas of concern when he came into the club: finance, management, facilities, fans and the team. It's always the little things.
What about the pitch? Well, the pitch must have been all right.
Pitch incidentally heavily watered before the game today. It's playing with a good bit of zip. Don Hutchinson getting away with just a free kick after that challenge.
I don't think there's any doubt about it. With Ken Bates, he gets things done. Everybody at the football club seems very happy with it. Kevin Blackwell certainly.
Jermaine Wright has the added option of the left foot of Eddie Lewis, and it will be the American to deliver. Testing one to the far post. Simpson fails to control. It comes off his hand as well, so Leeds have another free kick, but just dangerously edging closer to the penalty area.
Well, it was accidental, but there wasn't too many complaints from the Millwall players.
And rather than a cross this time, Andy Marshall will have to contemplate a shot on target. Blake is involved this time. Jermaine Wright standing there, but unlikely he will take it. Berry has what looks like a bowler's run up. It's hit by Blake. Oh, was that one that was worked on the training ground?
Oh, no doubt about it at all. I don't think Millwall were fooled by it in any way, shape or form. all pretend to run into each other and then just leave it to the side. I think they're quite pleased with themselves that it reasonably worked. We got a corner out of it.
Lewis's corner for Leeds. Glance just over. Well, that's the closest we've come. And Healy might wonder if he could have done better.
Well, they've done well so far, Millwall, but what they do is they just leave Healy to run off the goalkeeper on his own and just get himself into space. The ball's perfect. He just puts a little bit too much on it.
A chase given by Harding for Healy. Derry's first to react in that crowded central midfield area, and Millwall again penalised. Lovely ball for Gary Kelly. Wright is in support. Now Derry. Harding. And they get their passing game going. They look very menacing, Leeds United. This is Backer. Floated up towards Wright. Vincent just got an important touch.
They have to play it quicker, Leeds, because there's 10 bodies they've got to try and break down, so it's got to be one touch and away, and moving across the pitch.
Lewis. Backer, Norwegian international. Here's Paul Butler. Movement up front comes from Blake. But the passage of the pass is cut out. Now Hales is onside here. Elliott's mirrored his run, but Hales will look to do it all himself. And Wright took no chances. It's away for a Millwall corner.
You can't ask any more of the lone striker when you're working up there on your own, is to find yourself in space away from any of the centre-backs and get a chance, half chance at that, to get a strike in.
A friendly Yorkshire welcome for Jody Morris. Stand away by Wright. This is Matt Lawrence, closed down by Healy. First to it is done.
Well, they're superb at the moment, Lawrence and Phillips, anything in the air. I know Blake and Healy are not the biggest, but they still found themselves in the right positions.
There he is, buffeted by Simpson. Well, a good start is always important, especially if you're at home, and Leeds know that the fans play an important part if they are to have a promotion push, and as such the home form is important. Last season they just drew too many games here, really. 10 draws at home, 18 draws in total. It was on results like that that saw their campaign falter, and incidentally, home and away, 2 of those draws in the campaign came against Millwall. And it's a different Millwall they face today. For the Millwall, that so far has held their own in the first half of this first half. Lewis. Healy into the path of Derry. Now Kelly. Everyone bar Hales is back behind the ball. Lewis is offside. It's a patient game that will be required from Leeds.
Well, there should be no need for it with Eddie Lewis. And Sean Gregan disappointing. With him, he's looking right across the line.
Well, going back to that home form of Leeds, the fans didn't see a good end to last season either, without a win in 5 games, most of those draws. You have to go back to that relegation season from the Premiership, the last time that Leeds went 6 home games without a win. Even though, of course, it's slightly different when it branches over a summer, and a summer of change for both these clubs. Here's Seru, picked up by Morris. Now Hales. Might come for Simpson. A telling intervention by Kelly. But again, it's Hales who was able to cause the Leeds United defence some problems.
Yeah, he's a threat every time he runs at them. Makes things happen, even if it's not him doing it. Makes the defenders make errors.
Here comes another giant throw. Powerfully away by Leeds. Sean Gregan. Gregan again. Lawrence. Harding's underneath this one. Got there ahead of Seru.
Some goalkeepers you'd worry about with a back pass like that, but Andy Marshall very good with his feet.
I suppose the other aspect of the lone striker, just Barry Hales, occasionally supported by the 2 wide men, but basically trying to do the job on his own, is the fact that the defenders may switch off when there's just one of them. And perhaps that's happened a couple of times for Leeds when Hales has been running at them, leaving it to each other a little bit.
I think it's concentration-wise. Butler always thinking, and at times Gregan, I think, watches the play, which allows Hales to get in.
Here's Hutchinson, given away to Derry, though. And now Lewis can break away. Phillips struggling to get back. It's Lewis's cross. Healy in the centre. And turned behind by Don.
Well, they know the way forward, and that is it down the side is the only way, and you need a first-time cross, nothing else. You needed to put a bit more on that for it to get to Healy, but good defending by Hutchison.
And it comes from Lewis again. And Farnan! Leeds United have the lead. It's Healy. Who else for the Yorkshire side? And finally, they get the breakthrough.
Well, they've ignored him. David Healy stood in front of the goalkeeper. They've left him to his devices, and once Seru decides not to head this ball, just to let it go over his head, he actually heads it, but it just skims off that afro hairstyle of his. It then takes a deflection, and watch Healy. All he does is walk away from the goalkeeper. There's nobody with him. Andy Marshall reacts as quickly as he possibly can. He's hoping then that this ball hits him from Healy. It does hit him, but it still finds its way into the back of the net, off his arm, and Healy's away.
Keeping up his good record of scoring on day 1 of the season. He did it last year against Watford. He's done it this year, the day after his 26th birthday. And Healy has finally brought Ellen Road to life.
Well, they work hard. Millwall, they come to a set play and they lose it. Just goes to show how important set plays are.
This may signal a more adventurous approach from Millwall if they are to get anything from this game. Up to now, it's been to get plenty of men behind the ball. And they have a chance here to at least try and test Neil Sullivan, something they haven't really been able to do so far. Morris's corner. Slice behind for another corner kick. That was Lewis.
What a chance. What a chance. How can that find its way to the floor inside the 6-yard box? Eddie Lewis could have went anywhere when it came off his foot.
Take 2, it's Morris again. This time Sullivan is in the right place. He's spilled it briefly, but recovered enough to frustrate Millwall and Hales.
Well, what Barry Hales is trying to do, he's trying to put him under pressure, so he stood right in front of the goalkeeper. They're pulling and tugging each other, and he just loses it for a second. Graham Laws had already blown.
It looks like set pieces are the route to destruction for these two. Millwall undone, and Leeds United just escaping. A couple of nervous moments at the back for Kevin Blackwell's side. Dunn's cross away by Kelly. Vincent. Josh Simpson. Marvin Elliott. Simpson certainly gave no quarter in that challenge. Derry on hand to clear it away for Leeds. Now Eddie Lewis, Harding in support. Lewis has continued his run. Derry now. Kelly, he's seen Eddie Lewis in a little bit of space. This time Saru does get the touch, but it's gone straight to the feet of the American. Backer. On by Derry, missed by Morris. There was a nudge by Lewis on Jody Morris.
Well, still a good hour to go, so Colin Lee, no changes to the system. Let's not gamble. Let's keep tight like we were. Restricted them to no shots on target. Apart from the set play, of course.
Well, Millwall can look back over a recent good record against Leeds. Unbeaten in their last 4 games. Couple of wins, couple of draws in that time. When you've had a summer like Millwall have, recent records aren't too much solace. Hales. He collided with Butler, but no foul was given.
Had to be a foul, didn't he? Didn't get the ball, Paul Butler, but he got Barry Hales. Scream at the referee. Give me some help. Trying my best under the circumstances on my own.
Morris left it slightly short, and Backer was in strongly. Now Lewis. Went down under the challenge of Morris.
Just clips the ankles of Eddie Lewis. Be another bit improvisation on this free kick again. But I think it's a better angle for Robbie Blake's right foot. That's what he tried to do on his other side of the pitch, to make it look as if they collided with each other, to get him on his right foot. This time he is on his right foot. I expect him to try and bend it into that left-hand side of Andy Marshall. The right-hand side as Robbie Blake looks at it.
Well, Blake and Lewis are the 2 likely candidates, and it will be Blake. Will be struck straight at Marshall.
Well, he's gone over the top of the wall, which makes it comfortable for Marshall. He just moves his feet quickly.
That's a corner kick. Blake's efforts rewarded for Leeds.
Now it's concentration time for Millwall, giving away a goal already. Is anybody going to mark Healy? Going to leave him on his own? He's stood on his own once again in front of the goalkeeper, Andy Marshall. Nobody picking him up.
Delivered by Jermaine Wright, the outswinger. And the referee has spotted some pushing and shoving, despite the header down.
David Healy, look, nobody around him. If that ball bounces down in there again, he can do exactly the same.
There's one man you don't want to leave unmarked inside the penalty area. It's Northern Ireland's all-time record goal scorer. Here's Simpson now for Millwall. Good block by Butler. The captain leading by example. Well, the games come thick and fast at this stage of the season. Luton, what a result they had at Crystal Palace yesterday. Mike Newell here, sizing up Leeds United. He has them at Kenilworth Road next weekend.
Tremendous result. That's his chief scout these days, Ian Snodin, who used to play here at Leeds. And they played at Everton together, of course, those two.
And now they count themselves among the opening day winners, the opening weekend winners of the Championship. Leeds United will be hoping to join them. And so far, so good. Goal from David Healy, ensuring they approach half-time with the one-goal advantage. Kelly's cross, looking for Lewis. Down by Saru and away by Don Hutchinson. Well, this afternoon, more live football to come. Arsenal against Chelsea. It's at 2:30 and it's on Sky Sports 1, the Community Shield. This is Butler for Leeds. Butler. Harding, the England under-21 international. Now Hutchinson. Lawrence had to scurry, rather, to make sure he got there ahead of Blake. This is Elliott. Simpson. Hutchinson. Looks wide for Dunn. Harding first to react before Saru. Good terrier-like work up front from Healy. Provides a platform for Leeds to look to get forward, but a wayward pass is to Vincent's benefit.
It's been a bit more adventurous, Millwall.
No foul given. As Derry picks out Eddie Lewis, and he's got a little bit of space to run into.
Don't seem to be getting the rub of the green on the challenges, Millwall, that's for sure.
Teed up into the penalty area, but it was over the head of both Lewis and of Wright.
Well, we said how important set plays are. Once Saru heads it and it hits Don Hutchinson, he can do nothing about that. And if you leave a player free and he's in front of the goalkeeper, and a player with ability who's good with his back to goal as Healy is, you can expect something to happen. And it certainly did for Leeds United.
Well, towards the end of last season, Healy was on something of a goal drought. This would have been his 9th consecutive league game without a goal. And he's ended that run. Jody Morris, who was given a talking to by the referee just before the game started, is deep in conversation with Mr. Laws again.
Well, he's having a go, just saying, look, you know, there's two teams in this game. If there's any free kicks, you're giving Leeds the benefit of the doubt. Maybe give us one or two things. And Graham Laws, as you quite rightly said, just saying to him, any nonsense and you'll be off.
Well won by Saru. Long throw time again. Saru, headed by Bakker. Harding's underneath this one. Lewis. Leeds are making a bit of a meal of this one. In the end, pushing is given against Millwall.
Well, I feel sorry for Barry Hales, because, like he said, he's not been done any favours by the referee, and he's just had enough, and he's just saying, look, you're giving everything against us. In that particular case, I wasn't even involved in the header, and he gave a free kick against me.
Barry Hales becomes the first yellow card of the afternoon. Lewis, former Fulham teammate of Barry Hales, of course. Early cross, looking for Blake. Lawrence well positioned again, though. Here's Eddie Lewis. Back to Dan Harding. Stabbed away by Mark Phillips. A wasted opportunity, rather, as the ball went straight out of play from the throw-in. Well, Millwall, I'm sure, will be frustrated at the way they went behind from a set piece, because other than that, they haven't been caused too many problems by the home side, who have set out their stall to be more adventurous. That's exactly what you'd expect. Well, there you see, looking at the attempts, it's Leeds who've had all the efforts, but just the two on target. One of those proving important from Healy. Marvin Elliott. Berry reacts well. Used to play his football in South London, of course, with Crystal Palace. Now this is Healy. Back for Lewis. Away by Lawrence. Leeds seek their second before half-time. Kelly, Bakker. Derry, plenty of space for Harding. Phillips threw himself at that one, to good avail as well. But the Leeds pressure continues. Kelly's cross again. Took a touch off Lewis. The flag is up. Healy adjudged offside, I think.
Just straight off. Once again, he's looking across the line. David Healy. Was he level? The arm goes up. Could have been level.
And the flag bringing to an end that offside decision, and bringing to an end a positive period of play for Leeds. Sullivan, who apart from that collision with Barry Hales hasn't had too much to do. A couple of corner kicks to deal with, but that's about it.
Well, you could say the same of Andy Marshall, basically. Despite Leeds dominating the ball, he's not had any saves to make.
Here's Harding. Derry. Bakker. A chase for Blake. Just a goal kick, even though Lawrence stopped, clearly not looking to play the ball.
He's coped well, Lawrence and Phillips. Anything that's been crossed into the box, they've been there. Well, Hutchinson has the screen just in front of them. They've done all right. They're only black mark, you could say. Colin Lee will say to him at half-time is we've given away a goal from a set play. A little bit of slack marking. People not heading the ball.
But on the positive side, far from out of this game yet, Millwall. Those who are at the club will remember that last season they were 1-0 down right until the dying seconds when Paul Eiffel was brought down in the penalty area and Jody Morris stepped up to convert the penalty. So as the old saying goes, anything can happen when the scoreline is 1-0. And that's how it is as we enter the 2 minutes tagged on at the end of this first half. Saru's header, matched by that of Derry. Hooked on by Gregan. Two white shirts go for the same ball, which allows the slighter figure of Morris to steal in. Vincent for Simpson. But whatever he was trying to do didn't quite come off due to the touch off Kelly. Matt Lawrence spotted Saru in a little bit of space.
Tremendous ball.
Now Hutchinson. Can Millwall finish this first half with a little bit of a flourish? As the answer, it comes in the form of Graham Lawes' whistle. And the goal came in the form of a close-range finish from the master predator of Leeds United, Healy's goal, making sure that Kevin Blackwell's first half of the new season has gone so far so good. 1-0 to Leeds United at half-time. 7th opening day home fixture in a row. And that man has ensured that things are going according to plan so far, unbeaten in the last 6 seasons. Last season they beat Derby 1-0. Fraser Richardson, who is on the bench this afternoon, got the goal that day. But neither side have made any changes at half-time, so it'll be as you were. Millwall will continue their damage limitation and continue putting their hopes in Barry Hales of stealing a goal or at least creating an opportunity that someone else can exploit.
I don't think there's any real need to go gung-ho almost immediately, Bill. I know you're a goal behind, but the fact is Leeds haven't created too many chances, and I think Colin Lee might be hoping that just be a little bit more adventurous in the system that we've got. See if we can get anything back. If we're not, then we'll change it in maybe the last half an hour.
Don Hutchison hasn't quite got his range. Only played a handful of games for West Ham United last season due to injury. And really, the closing days of his second spell at Upton Park were spent largely in the treatment room. Phillips thunders clear. Glance off Derry has come straight to Josh Simpson. But backer in too strongly for the liking of the referee, Graham Lawes. So a chance for Don Hutchinson to work on the range, which was a little bit off a few moments ago. What will he try here? That's a bit better as he finds Saru. Dunn, Morris, looking for the return ball to Saru. But Gregan read the danger. Sure that temporarily at least it's snuffed out, but only temporarily, because for the first time this second half you see one of these exocet throws from Adrien Saru right into the heart of the penalty area and winning a corner kick for Millwall.
Oh, foul by Eric Backer, no doubt about that. Marvin Elliott's coming to get this ball. Just watch him, and Eric Backer just blocks him off.
No Millwall fans here, of course, to appeal for that. So any good things that Millwall do are greeted by a strange silence at Ellen Road. That's what we have at the moment. Millwall's first corner of this second half. Hutchinson Rose. It's one of his strengths, of course. Back in by Marvin Elliott. Still it's not clear. Gregan, Saru trying to bring it down. Might come for Morris.
Butler and Gregan failing to clear their lines there.
All perhaps providing little crumbs of optimism for Millwall, showing that when they do attack, they can cause some concern at the back. Nothing expected really of Millwall. Most of the teams in the Championship start the season with at least some degree of optimism. For Millwall, it's all been doom and gloom. A good season for them. In the mind of their supporters, would be finishing outside the relegation zone. And even other relegation candidates or teams that are perceived as that usually at least have the first game in which to dream before the reality check comes. Morris takes a touch. Gregan. Spotted the burst forward of Gary Kelly. Takes it in his stride. Touch off Simpson. Back in by Kelly again. Elliott had the awareness to bring it down, but his clearance isn't the best. And Millwall now will have this free kick after the foul on Dunn. Forward by Dunn. Well, high balls like that won't particularly suit Barry Hales up against the two big Leeds centre-halves, but it's Healy on the ball now. Now Simpson for Millwall. This is Don Hutchinson. Didn't get the shout of man on until too late. Although when the man did arrive, he was a little bit too forceful, so another free kick taken from the wrong place.
Starting to be an influence, Don Hutchinson. Picking up the ball in the area between Blake and Healy and two midfield players, Derry and Backer.
Blake beaten to it by Lawrence. This is Simpson now. And Jody Morris. Barry Hales. He's allowed to run forward and thread it through for Hutchinson. And it appears has been given a license to get forward a little bit more.
Paul Butler allowing Barry Hales to turn again, and once again causing him all sorts of problems.
Jermaine Wright looking for Lewis. Dunn was across well. The Leeds faithful appeal for a foul, but none is given.
It might well have bounced up. We can't really tell from our angle and hit him on the arm, but no intent there, I'm sure.
Dunn again called into action. This time Lewis gets there first. Blake now. Signs that Leeds might be coming to life in this second half.
Once they get it down and pass it, they've got a chance, but if they keep knocking the ball high towards Blake and Healy, they've got no chance.
Lewis slipped as he went to take it inside. Hales crowded out by three white shirts. One of those Backer finds Kelly. Phillips allows it to bounce, but got away with it initially. Haley for Lewis. Back for Harding. No real height in the penalty area for Leeds, though, so they play it for Derry. Now Jermaine Wright. Backer. Gary Kelly. Forward to Backer again. His touch has taken him beyond Vincent. And Marshall is forced into a save. Well, that is a lot better from Leeds.
Well, really, Kevin Blackwell will just be saying to his players, just keep passing the ball, because we've got players, once you get it to their feet, who've got real quality. One of those players is Eric Backer. Just watch this touch. It's brilliant. He just takes it round Vincent, then gets his strike in. Marshall loses it for a second. Healy helps him out.
You can hear what the crowd think of that here at Ellen Road. Well, Kevin Blackwell, among the substitute, has the like of Michael Ricketts. If he wants to add a little bit more beef up front. And speaking of beef, that's a little bit overcooked by Sean Berry there on Jody Morris.
I'll tell you what, Jody Morris has done him a big favour, getting on his feet immediately. Lots of players would have stayed on the ground in situations like that because this is so late. Graham Laws doesn't even show a yellow card. This is a yellow card. No doubt about that, no danger. There are times, we've said before, referees have a chat, have a word, but you can't allow that. Jody Morris just goes to show, you know, he lived by the sword, die by the sword.
Simpson now, looking to cut it back for Marvin Elliott.
The ironic thing would be if Jody Morris did the same type of tackle and went into the book.
Here is Morris, floating a testing one for Sullivan, who was equal to the task. Well, we saw in the first half that Leeds could threaten the Millwall goal. It's the first real save, though, that Andy Marshall has had to make. That one after the burst forward from Backer. Phillips, Morris.
I think they're beginning to believe in themselves, Millwall. They keep the game bitty, and Leeds can't get it down and pass it. Gives them a chance to get back into it.
Done. I'm not sure that's exactly what he meant to do.
Not very well done.
Overdone.
What have you done that for?
Well, Colin Lee will certainly be encouraged by what he's seen in the opening 10 minutes of this second half. Whatever he said at half-time has meant that his side have come out and not been overawed and more than match Leeds, which throughout a lot of the first half they actually did.
I think it's like anything else, you know, you look at the scoreline and Leeds are 1-0 up, so you're suggesting that Millwall's performance is not good enough because they haven't had a shot. But when you look at it, Leeds have had 2 shots on target. Andy Marshall not really having to make that many saves. Obviously there's a goal on top of that.
You see Leeds have dominated the attempts, just the one for Millwall so far. And Leeds 3 on target, Millwall yet to get one that has really troubled Neil Sullivan. But still plenty of time to go here in South Yorkshire this Sunday lunchtime.
So I can fully understand Colin Lee not gambling just yet. Just keep playing the same way. We're not out of this game. As long as it's only one, we always give ourselves a chance.
Morris has done that neatly for Hutchinson. Millwall can get their players with real quality, like Morris and Hutchinson, with Premiership experience playing to their strengths. And maybe anything can happen for Millwall, and the others will start to believe around them. This is Healy. There's also the other side of the equation, and that's keeping out Leeds when they get their momentum going.
Passing. Pass and move, pass and move. We've got players with ability who can do a little bit once you get them into the final areas, and that's the thing they need to be looking for.
Committed stuff from Dunn. Return ball for Saru. Hutchinson doing his best to make inroads forward and drawing the foul from Derry. Well, that was canny because he knew he didn't have the pace to get beyond Sean Derry.
Showed his pace there, didn't he, Don? Slow and even slower, but as you said, use his experience.
It's going to be Simpson to supply the ball into the Leeds box. Hutchinson, Phillips forward, Saru as well. It's come through for Elliott, who's done well to keep it in. What can he do here as it's attacked by Mark Phillips? Again, it's Elliott, keeping it alive so well for Millwall. And in the end, Derry had to just make sure and make safe.
Well, that was a chance for Marvin Elliott. Whether he takes his eye off the ball when Eric Bakker misses it or not, can't really tell from here, but it found its way through to him.
It's going to be a free kick for Millwall. Just took a touch off the hand of Eric Bakker. Although Dunn seems determined to have a throw-in. Simpson and Kelly give chase. It's a Millwall ball. Vincent through to a white shirt, and Leeds can come forward. Blake. I'm sure Kevin Blackwell would like to see him get a little bit more into the game, Robbie Blake.
Seeing that he's having to come deeper than with David Ely, because Millwall are being a bit more adventurous.
It's another late one on Jody Morris, this time from Bakker. But again, he's up straight away.
Yeah, he is. He tries to nick this ball around Eric Bakker. You can see this, it's not quite two-footed, but...
Scythe down. Here's Barry Hales. Looking for Saru. Morris. Now Alan Dunn. John Hutchison. Dunn has done incredibly well to win that. Cuts back for Hutchinson! Millwall, what a goal from them! And Don Hutchinson on his debut makes it 1-1 at Ellen Road.
Well, talk about a strike. This is absolutely magnificent. He has always had the quality, Don Hutchinson, but the thing you don't do is allow him to get into those situations, and he knows once this comes back to him from Dunn, this is an absolute screamer. Just watch him pull the trigger. Bang! That's away. Look at the goalkeeper. He even shies away from it because he thinks the power, if this hits me, it's going to hurt like nothing else. Watch him. That has absolutely screamed past Neil Sullivan. It's an absolute beauty from Don Hutchinson, and Millwall are back in business.
Just what the doctor ordered for Millwall. He's only been at the club a couple of days, although he has been training there for a few weeks, but only signed on Friday, and he has his first goal for Millwall. And now he's really opened this game up again. Leeds have been the better side, played certainly in the first half the better football, but now the qualities which took Millwall to the FA Cup final, the qualities that make them the pride of South East London, have been shown. Everyone has written them off, but they've shown that there's still some fighting spirit in there.
Well, he was right to be patient, Connolly. Not to change it early, leave it as it was. Very important. If there's anything tactically changed, it's maybe Jody Morris and Don Hutchinson change positions. Jody's the one who seems to be holding the position.
Here's Hales. Can Millwall continue this momentum? Here's Hutchinson. This time the free kick goes against him.
Well, Alan Dunn not to be beaten in the challenge. Just look at that. And then when he sets that up, I'm sure he was surprised as anybody else, but he's done that throughout his career. Dunn, great quality in both feet and the head.
58th goal of his career, for those of you who are counting. You notice when he scored the goal as well, Don Hutchinson didn't know where to go to celebrate with no Millwall fans here. Forward by Phillips. Play on, good decision by the referee. Morris will have a crack.
Tremendous technique. Just look at the first touch to take when it bounces down to him there. That sets it up lovely. And look at, we see exactly where he was aiming for. Neil Sullivan very quick to get it.
Morris back at the other end showing what he can do. Dispossessing Healy, frustrating play for Leeds.
They want to see a bit more of the crowd, you can hear them. Not that much zip and determination about the performance in the second half.
Derry away from Morris. Oh, that floored Lawrence, but he's picked himself up. Must be seeing a few stars, I would imagine. And pinned back by Healy, no foul. 6 of one, half a dozen of another, says the referee.
I saw the 6 of one, I didn't see the half a dozen of the other. Healy every right, because he's got the ball in front of him.
Leeds stung into life. The delivery lacked the quality to really trouble Millwall. Butler. This is Kelly now.
Have to do things a lot quicker now, Leeds. I'm sure that's what Kevin Blackwell would have been saying at half-time. Don't keep playing those balls down the middle because they're no good to us. As Backer has just done there. Keep it moving.
Healy is late on Vincent.
Well, that's frustration, having been fouled inside the 18-yard box. I think he thought he was seeking justice by taking it out on Jamie Vincent.
So goal, booking rather, to go with his goal for David Healy. Is Kevin Blackwell going to be tempted into changes sooner rather than later now to try and keep on track for a home win on day one?
Well, we saw Neil Warnock do it yesterday, freshen it up. 3 at the same time, which worked wonders. Michael Ricketts, anything like the player he was at Bolton, would be an asset for Leeds.
Jamie Vincent comes back on. The game was just building up a little bit of a head of steam before that pause for treatment. Let's see how Leeds will look to continue that. This is Kelly. Dan Harding. Good work from Harding, but he's run into trouble. Now Healy. Jermaine Wright just back on his heels, but he's recovered well. It's right for Leeds. It's blocked away by Vincent. Back for Kelly, who goes for height, but only finds Marshall. Now Gregan.
That's the one thing you can't do, is try and force it. Just keep it moving.
It's been a regular fixture at the heart of defence for Leeds, certainly throughout the pre-season. Sean Gregan, and preferred first choice at the back for Kevin Blackwell. Lewis, certainly pulled back there by Adrien Sarrou. A quarter of the match remains. 1-1 at Ellen Road. This is Paul Butler. Gary Kelly. Butler now, time to aim for Lewis, who rose higher than Dunn. Down by Backer, away by Phillips. And a push by Barry Hales, in on Gregan. Derry now, Leeds looking to keep the tempo high here. Kelly, this is Backer. Jermaine Wright now. And again, the quality of the final ball is the undoing for Leeds' attacking play.
Any high crosses, it's going to be Marshall's or the two centre-backs. Low and hard for Blake and Healy.
Interesting to see, of course, Kevin Blackwell, someone who knows Neil Warnock very well for all the time spent working with him. Will he opt for the same triple substitution tactic that we saw yesterday at Bramall Lane? Certainly it needs something for Leeds if they are to get the 3 points here.
I think you just got to think about what's actually going out there on the pitch. You can't get the best out of Robbie Blake because you're not giving him a chance to get the ball to his feet. Healy occasionally get it to his feet, but not enough.
Lewis has it to his feet here. Slightly diverted by the touch from Sarrou, but this is Derry now. Into Jermaine Wright. Still Jermaine Wright, but just overran it.
Just look at the bodies. Morris, Phillips, Lawrence. Plenty through that middle. We've had our bit of adventure. Millwall, it's just sitting back now and saying, try and break us down, Leeds.
Backer now. Right, the return ball to Eric Backer. And the referee has given a penalty kick to Leeds. Brought down by Marvin Elliott. Finally, Leeds pass their way and give themselves a chance to get their noses back in front.
Well, Marvin Elliott doesn't know this, but Eric Backer's nowhere near going to get on the end of that ball once he touches it, but that makes no difference whatsoever. Referees Mr. Laws is 100% correct. You cannot dive in the box, even if the striker hits it too hard, or the midfield player, as in Backer's case, because you'll give away a penalty, and that's exactly what's happened.
It's going to be Healy going for his second of the afternoon. Healy! 2-1 Leeds! And there's no doubt about that strike from Healy.
Quality penalty. Goalkeeper Andy Marshall went the right way. It's a savable height, but certainly not in range of a goalkeeper. He gambles the right way, Andy Marshall. Healy with the concentration of the kick, eyes on the ball the whole time, places it in that left-hand corner and gets his second.
Well, Millwall will be frustrated. Both the goals they've conceded have largely been to their own downfall, in that the first one came from a set piece and the second one came from a penalty kick. But now they have to take stock once more and battle their way back into this match. This time it's Gregan who will get the talking to, and probably the flash of yellow as well from Graham Laws.
Laws 100% correct once again. Gregan stamping on the ankle of Hales. Well, Hutchinson was the unhappy player because the ball found its way to him. Well, they've shown they can be adventurous again. They're going to have to do it after shooting themselves in the foot once more.
Morris, Hutchinson, either side of the ball. It's Simpson who looks to attack it. For Hutchinson. The idea was good, but the execution didn't quite work out. Imaginative free kicks on show from both sides.
Just knocked a little bit too far by Jody Morris.
There's Michael Ricketts. He'll have to wait to come on. And Simpson wins a corner kick for Millwall. Millwall winning the battle of the corner kick. This their sixth. Season getting their noses in front in that respect. And they get back on level terms from the ball supplied by Jody Morris. Away by Butler. On by Blake, who got a nudge in the back. And the danger is averted for Leeds. And Robbie Blake hasn't been able to make too much of an impact. He is withdrawn. And not since February has Michael Ricketts played a game for Leeds United, but on he comes on day one of the new campaign. And he'll certainly provide a slightly different proposition for Phillips and Lawrence at the back.
And he'll play to Robbie Blake's strength in the second half, and I suppose he'll take a little while to get used to the rest of his teammates and him. But Michael Ricketts, talking to Kevin Blackwell before kick-off, says he's lost a stone and a half and raring to go, wants to put his career back on track.
He's still only 26, Michael Ricketts. England cap to his name, of course, and he's right in the thick of the action straight away. It's Ricketts' cross, but it's Marshall's ball in the end.
You can't fault the crowd, can you? Give him a big cheer there, hoping that he's revitalised.
This is Jamie Vincent for Millwall. Morris. Saru. Back for Morris, who was hungrier in the challenge than Bacca. Elliott back for Morris, looking over the top for Simpson. It's away by Kelly.
Just beginning to dominate the midfield. Jody Morris, pull all the strings.
Here he is again, Morris, looking for Elliott. There's a chance to make amends. Well, certainly Gregan appeared to lead with the hand there. Not sure whether the ball made contact.
Well, he was hoping, Donuts, it's another penalty, but once he heads the ball away, he's hoping that this contact from Gregan is even stronger, but referee Graham Raw's quite right, as he can't stop his momentum.
Ricketts trying to use his sheer brute force to get through. Hutchinson caught in possession. We're well into the last quarter of an hour now, and Colin Lee is ready to make changes. Will he make changes with the scoreline at 2-1? Here's Healy. Bacca. Kelly. Deflected cross. Lewis tried to get a touch. It's on by Healy, but denied a hat-trick on that occasion.
He's better than that. David Healy got more quality in when that falls to him in those situations. The best of strikes from him.
Well, another product of the Millwall Academy. Will come on show now. Replace Josh Simpson. It's Ben May, the 21-year-old from Gravesend, who comes on. And Marvin Elliott is the other player to make way. For a debutant, Sammy Igo, one of the 3 players who've joined the club in the summer. Tall order to replace the likes of Ifield, Vickio, Sweeney, Muscat, Ward, Wise, of course, as well, all of whom pulled on the shirt of Millwall last season, and all who have moved on to pastures new this campaign.
Marvin Elliott did okay today, but that penalty, that rash challenge inside the box will haunt him.
Hutchinson's header is cued by Harding. Leeds now ready to make another change. It's Fraser Richardson. And he will replace Jermaine Wright. Homegrown. Just listen to that reception.
Makes sense from Kevin Blackwell, more natural down that right-hand side than Jermaine Wright. Just likes to travel up and down the side, whereas Jermaine likes to come inside.
Saru trying to get it into the penalty area from pretty much the halfway line. Didn't fall too far short either. Hutchinson. Slightly misjudged his run up there, I think it's fair to say, Saru. It's a giant throw, and I don't think that one was worked on the training ground. Here comes Richardson. Helped out by Kelly. Great run from the substitute to turn Leeds from defence into attack. This is Bacca. Now Lewis for Derry. On towards Ricketts. 4 blue shirts around him, and one of those was Morris, who clears as far as Barry Hales. Saru turns away from trouble. This is May, who's gone up alongside Barry Hales to a little bit more support up front to try and get something from this game for Millwall.
Just got to gamble now. The 4-5-1 dispense with 4-4-2 formation.
May looking to combine with Hales. Healy for Ricketts. A roar of anticipation from Elland Road. Here's Healy. And at full stretch, Marshall just snuffs out any danger.
Certainly a bit more space out there for Leeds now. Now Millwall are having to chase the game.
Well, there's excitement from the Leeds fans in that they're 2-1 up, and when they go forward with the bulk of Ricketts up front, look like getting another one, but there's also a little bit of nervousness every time Millwall come forward, which they do now through Hales, although he is punished there for handball.
Yeah, he's got to keep his left hand out of the way. Just watch it, just cushion it.
The Community Shield is up and coming following this. Arsenal against Chelsea. It's on Sky Sports 1 from 2:30. Hutchison, what a goal it was he scored to equalise for Millwall before Healy's second ensured the scoreline is 2-1 with just around 7 minutes of normal time to go. Saru for May. He allowed it to bounce. Well, the expectation for Leeds United is higher, with money spent, proper wages paid. It's the first time in 3 years that they spent more than £1 million on a player this summer on Rob Hulse, and Ken Bates, of course, the man who has steadied the ship, and he'll be pleased to see that it looks like Leeds are heading for a day one win here.
Well, it's not a vintage performance, but at the moment, as you said, they're in front, but a lot of teams at this stage of the season just need to get the first game out of the way and assess things, work on things.
Now Ricketts is pulled back there by Phillips. The referee may well have some talking to do after that. And Ricketts still going.
I think he'll go in the book, Phillips, as soon as the ball goes out of play.
There's no question that he was last man back or anything like that, but he was definitely impeding Michael Ricketts.
Good advantage by the referee. Didn't come to anything, but quite keen to see the striker carry on.
Backer for Kelly. Kelly into the path of Backer. Well, it's the two old heads here at Leeds that very nearly did it all themselves.
And that's what he's good at, Eric Backer. And as you said, those two know each other really well.
Sheer persistence by Barry Hales now. Eventually he gets some support in the form of Dunn. That's too much for Hutchinson. He must be tired out there. Not this man though. Richardson is fresh as you like. Disappointing cross after a wonderfully adventurous run.
You can see there's tired legs out there. Richardson holding on to the ball for as long as he possibly can, but nobody looking to join in with him. Ricketts, who's just come on, should be sharp and lively and looking to get across. Blowing, he obviously feels it. Sometimes it's hard when you come on as a substitute to get to the pace of the game.
Kelly. Well, do Millwall have anything left in the tank? They've made those changes, but if anything, it's denied them a little bit of potency that they had.
The game suits Leeds now because it's open. That's the way they want it. They never liked it when it was 4-5-1. Now they get an opportunity to play. There's more space out there. We've got players who can play.
And Millwall still have one change left to make. Looks like they may do that shortly, before Saru has made progress forward. Hutchinson. Morris. It's fooled by the bounce, but fortunately for him, Vincent's on hand to help out. Once you've caught the wrong side of Ricketts, it's pretty hard to get the other side. Done.
Just lost it a little bit. Alan Dunn, his last 5 minutes, has given the ball away.
Oh, Richardson has shown real flair since he's come on. Into the path of Ricketts. Early ball looking for Healy. Phillips is there. Cannoned into Lawrence and away for a corner.
Well, he's obviously tired, David Healy, because he needs an invitation to go and get this ball. Ricketts plays a pretty decent ball, but he's obviously had a puff a little bit, David Healy, and then the comedy defending.
Just that little bit of rustiness that sometimes accompanies the opening fixtures of a new season. Rustiness, perhaps a slight lack of fitness showing on. It's been a warm afternoon at Ellen Road. And the work is nearly done for Leeds, but they'd like another just to make sure.
David Healy's trying to say, let's just keep it out here. And Eddie Lewis quite rightly saying, come on, let's try and get another one.
Comes in from Lewis. Glanced off the head of Ricketts, I think. The Leeds throw. Millwall holding off making a substitution just for the moment.
Go out. It didn't go out, did it? It's good with throwing. It didn't look as if it went out to me.
There's so much spin on it, it looked like it may well have spun back into play, but Leeds won't mind. Saru. This is Ben May. Backer, getting his body between man and ball and eventually winning a free kick. Three minutes will be added on. Time running out for Millwall. But no one expected them to get much from this. Very much odds on for a Leeds win after the recent upheavals, shall we say, at Millwall. But there are plenty of positives that they can take.
Certainly. Loads for Conor Lee to take, and when he looks back at it, one corner cost them, another a penalty, both self-inflicted wounds. Having said that, it's still a fantastic finish, but he's back to goal from Healy.
Ricketts. It's another striker on, by the way, in Kevin Braniff for Saru. It's the striker of the day, David Healy, rather, who is just trying to make a nuisance of himself.
Well, they're better when they play, Leeds. Well, there's only a couple of minutes on the clock, and there are times when you think, well, David Healy himself has already thought about time wasting, and are actually better when they pass the ball around. That's their bit of time wasted in keeping it away from Millwall.
Morris. Just about a minute for Millwall to make something happen. Braniff, Hutchinson, May, Braniff on the overlap. Igo is in the centre, but so too is Paul Butler. Formidable presence for Leeds to clear the danger away. Well, Saru has gone off, so the length of the throw won't be quite as much as it was before. Hutchinson and Lewis happy to shepherd it away.
This is the most agonising time now for the manager. With 2-1 in front, just waiting for the referee to blow the whistle and end it all. There's 90 gone on the clock.
They'll be mightily relieved should it end like this, and it certainly looks like it is going to. They finished last season at home without a win in 5 games. Too many draws here at Ellen Road, and to get off to a winning start gives everyone a lift. Morris. Igo. Vincent's cross. And a free kick awarded against Jody Morris, who's battled hard for Millwall.
Has indeed just caught Eric Backer as he challenged for that ball.
And with players like Jody Morris, it may not be everyone's cup of tea, but certainly when he's on your side, he gives 100%, and he's shown that this afternoon, he and Hutchinson. And that will certainly have the quality in midfield to ensure that they don't get in too much trouble. So it will be a long season.
He's a good player, Jody Morris.
Well, it's delight on day one for David Healy and for Leeds United. 2-goal first half on 28 minutes, and then a penalty kick in the second half. Ensures that Ellen Road is smiling after the first home game of the season. It wasn't all plain sailing, though. The pick of the goals came from a Millwall player on his debut, Don Hutchinson, blasting a superlative strike into the roof of the Leeds United net. But overall, it'll be a happy afternoon for Kevin Blackwell.
Well, he'll be delighted. It's all about the result on the first day of the season. Sometimes you look at performances, and Kevin will, and think, well, we didn't play as well as we might have done, and we've done a lot of things wrong, but we've got the result. That's it. That gives him a platform. As far as Colin Lee's concerned, plenty of stuff he can take from today's game. His side worked hard under difficult circumstances, worked their way back into it, and then threw it away themselves. But he'll be quite proud of his side.
Leeds United up and running. The faithful go home happy in the Yorkshire sunshine. Leeds United 2, Millwall 1.